Cowboy, Mr. McLean, Americans, all alike. Well, this time John Wayne does not walk off into the sunset with Grace Kelly.
It's Gary Cooper, asshole.
In High Noon, Gary Cooper's Sheriff Will Kane is disturbed to learn, on his wedding day, just as he is set to retire, that Frank Miller, a man he locked up years ago, has been released, and is returning to town on the noon train.
Nice of them to let you know.
And that ain't all. Ben Miller is down for depot now with Jim Pierce and Jack Colby. They asked about the noon train.
The noon train?
Abandoned by the people of the town he protected for so many years, and even by his pacifist Quaker wife, played by Grace Kelly, Kane is left to face Miller alone.
Amy.
I mean it. If you won't go with me now, I'll be on that train when it leaves here.
High Noon takes cues from the last act of Owen Wister's The Virginian. Like Will Kane, the hero in that book must face down the villain on his wedding day, and his new bride does not understand. The big difference is that the Virginian desires no help, and is more than willing to face Trampas alone.
Put a saddle on him, Kane. Go on, saddle him up. He'll go a long way before he tires. That's what you were thinking, wasn't it?
Kinda.
You scared?
I guess so.
Kane's reluctance was seen as a subversion of the Western hero by many. Indeed, though it is often viewed as a perennial classic today, High Noon is really quite subversive. Like the Oxbow incident, it attempts to address an important social issue, in this case, civic responsibility.
The citizens of Athens, having suffered grievously under a tyrant, managed to depose and banish him. However, when he returned some years later with an army of mercenaries, those same citizens not only opened the gates for him, but stood by while he executed members of the legal government. Similar thing happened about 8 years ago in a town called Indian Falls.
The screenwriter, Carl Foreman, had recently been blacklisted by the House Un-American Activities Committee, and he intended the film as an allegory for Hollywood blacklisting. Other films, like Alan Dwan's Silver Load or Nicholas Ray's Johnny Guitar, were intended, or at least interpreted, as allegories for blacklisting during the McCarthy era. It's the editing and cinematography, along with Dmitri Tiomkin's score and Gary Cooper's performance, that really hold the film together. Cooper won an Oscar for his performance, as did editors Elma Williams and Harry W. Gerstad. Tiomkin won too, for Best Score and, along with Ned Washington, for Best Song for Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Darling. Sung by Tex Ritter, himself a star of series westerns, the song serves as a sort of Greek chorus, constantly reminding the audience, along with the repeated motif of clocks and watches, that Kane is running out of time. The film takes place in real time, a novel notion even today, and has a realistic tone accentuated by Floyd Crosby's unfiltered cinematography. Cooper, who played the main role in the original adaptation of The Virginian way back in 1929, is perfectly cast as Will Kane, his haggard look and slightly hunched form emphasizing the character's solitude. The film, controversial upon its release, has continued to be divisive among fans of the genre, some arguing that the message is too trite or heavy-handed, and others that it is overplayed and unconvincing. Called the most un-American thing I've ever seen in my whole life by John Wayne, the film has been cited as a favorite both by Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton. Famously, Howard Hawks disliked the film so much that he made his own film, Rio Bravo, in response to it.